Welcome to day 3 of the 5th online Kirloskar Vasundhara Ram Nadi festival. After the first 2 days of the festival we have witnessed, I'm sure all of us are truly inspired by the indomitable spirit of the men and women working to solve water problems all across the country. On our third day, we travel to the Nasik Kumbh, meet more people of the Ram Nadi, and explore wastewater management techniques from across India. This information packed day is bound to inspire action. Nashik's next Kumbh Mela is just 2 years away, and the lessons learned from 2015's Green Kumbh are still vital. Kirloskar Vasundhara's initiative transformed the holy gathering, tackling pollution with practical solutions. From installing toilets to promoting plastic free practices and managing waste, they demonstrated that spirituality and environmental responsibility can coexist. Educational campaigns nurtured a generation of green soldiers. As we approach the next Kumbh, let's remember the ideas and lessons we learned in 2015, ensuring a cleaner, more sustainable pilgrimage for all.
They come by the millions. Wave after wave, they formed a veritable river of humanity that flowed onto the banks of the Godavari to celebrate the greatest spiritual festival ever held in the history of the world, the Kumbh. Blue is the color of mind, soul, spirituality. Blue is the color of water. River, the soul of Kumbh. Pilgrims come to the world's most massive act of faith with an unflinching trust in something sublime. They believe by bathing in the river, one is freed from their past sins, that is karma. They believe that Kumbh has answers to all their problems. The mind is calmed, body is rejuvenated, and soul is purified. But what about the problems arising due to this largest gathering on earth? What about the environment paying the price for spiritual solace? The contamination of the blue soul of Kumbh, the river, pollution of the environment, tons of plastic accumulating in the city, generation of waste. Is there a way out? Can it be green? Nasik Kumbh was the journey to find the answers. A journey of blue to green. Kumbh is a spiritual festival, comes with a promise of an eternal life free of sins, to which millions want to be bound with. But what about the sufferings of the soul of Kumbh, the river Godavari? Is Godavari sacred enough to purify the souls of millions? Is Nashik ready for Kumbh? This created a stir in the world of Nashik. Small and big efforts began to address the issue. Kirloskar Vasundhara was the pioneer effort that addressed the issue for the first time on public platform. And it took the entire city by storm. A storm of thoughts and opinions.
गोदावरी में अभी करोड़ों लोग स्नान करने आएंगे और उनके लिए कुंभ सिर्फ स्नान है कुंभ और वो अपने पाप धोने के लिए यहाँ आएंगे। गोदावरी में पाप धोने की शक्ति है कि नहीं? इनका उनको कोई अंदाज नहीं है। लेकिन वो ये मानते हैं कि यदि उन्होंने गोदावरी में स्नान किया, रामकुंड पे जाके स्नान किया, तो उनका पाप गोदावरी धो देगी।
यदि ये करोड़ों लोग बिना बुलाए आते हैं, तो क्या इस अच्छे मौके पर नासिक में कुछ, नासिक और इस इलाके के आसपास के लिए अच्छी बातें की जा सकती हैं? क्या इस कुंभ का अच्छाई के लिए उपयोग किया जा सकता है? क्या इस कुंभ को एक तरीके से रियल ग्रीन कुंभ बना सकते हैं क्या?
गोदावरी नदीमुळे इथे कुंभ होतो. गोदावरी नदीच्या बद्दल कुंभ व्हावा, नदीच्या पाण्याचा वापर होऊ नये याच्यासाठी आमचं भांडण आहे.
पुरोहित संघाच्या दृष्टिकोनातून, सर्वसामान्य नागरिकाच्या दृष्टिकोनातून आपले धर्म, आपली संस्कृती, आपली परंपरा, आपल्या सर्व रूढी ह्या जपणं ह्या जितक्या महत्त्वाच्या आहेत, तितक्याच शासनाच्या दृष्टिकोनातून होणारं प्रदूषण टाळण्याकरता आपल्याला त्यांच्या सुद्धा संकल्पनांचा स्वीकार करणं हे अत्यंत काळाची गरज ठरणार आहे.
शासन म्हणून जर लाखोंच्या संख्येने इथं भाविक येणार असतील आणि मग त्याच्यातून जर पर्यावरणाशी संबंधित किंवा मोर प्रिसाइजली प्रदूषणाशी संबंधित आणि त्याहून प्रिसाइजली जर म्हणायचं तर जे गार्बेज किंवा वेस्ट तयार होणार आहे याच्याशी संबंधित काही प्रश्न निर्माण होणार असतील तर त्याच्यामध्ये इंटरव्हेन्शन करणं हे शासकीय विभाग म्हणून किंवा एक नोडल डिपार्टमेंट म्हणून कलेक्टोरेटचं आमचं जबाबदारीच होती.
Though there were little bit of differences in opinions approach, one thing was sure, that after this relentless brainstorming, nectar was going to spill out its content. And a mission called Green Kumbh took birth. Efforts were needed first to understand the holy river Godavari, and again Kirloskar Vasundhara was at the forefront by arranging a Goda walk to understand how mercilessly we take clean water from our rivers and return sewage and industrial waste. The walk was followed by a brainstorming on how the government, bureaucrats, NGOs and every citizen of Nashik can contribute to stop this. The Green Mission began on all fronts through various initiatives. A poster competition, workshops at colleges to understand the 5R, that is, refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover. Special screenings and workshops at schools to groom the future generations and make them ready for the Kumbh. The movement spread. Experts like Dr. Dhanashri Hardas joined the movement with a mission to build 20,000 plus green soldiers for the Kumbh.
ग्रीन सोल्जरचं नावाप्रमाणे अतिशय स्पष्ट आहे. सोल्जर जे प्रोटेक्शन करतं आणि ग्रीन हे सगळं पर्यावरणाशी रिलेटेड आहे. त्याच्यामुळे जे व्यक्तिमत्व प्रत्येक अगदी लहान मुलापासून ते मोठ्यापर्यंत पर्यावरणाचं रक्षण करण्यासाठी खास ट्रेनिंग घेऊन समोर आलेले सगळे ग्रीन सोल्जर्स.
The first phase of Green Kumbh was welcomed at all levels. Now, the most critical part was on, the execution. और फिर लोग साथ आते गए, कारवां बनता गया.
आम्ही त्रिसूत्री कार्यक्रम केला होता इथल्या डिव्हिजनल कमिशनर साहेबांच्या गायडन्स खाली.
And for that, 3 major areas were focused upon: the Sadhugram, bathing areas, and roads. More than 27,000 toilets were installed, and most of them were on sewer line itself. The second aim was plastic-free Kumbh. This mission was a big success. Volunteers have managed to collect more than 2.5 tons of plastic bags from visitors, and in return distributed around 7 lakh cloth bags. And the third one was solid waste management. It was a challenging task to restrict the crowd from littering to mitigate this problem. 4,000 plus dustbins were placed to collect the garbage. The government and the cleaning agencies were spot on round the clock to keep the river, the ghats and the city clean. And the results were very inspiring. A perfect balance was achieved to keep the river, the ghats, and the city green, beautiful, and serene. Supporting initiatives such as tree plantations, encouraging public vehicle usage, and promoting cycling commuting were also taken to reduce the impact. Activities like environment get-togethers, training programs, poster campaign, environment march, and street plays were carried out to create awareness and mass mobilization. The plant that grew from a small seed sowed by Kirloskar Vasundhara grew with all its branches spread. The journey will continue. Sure, Nasik Kumbh is the beginning of this journey of blue to green, where the rituals will be green, river will be green, and the city will be green.
Fortunately for us, there are a handful of people working to save the Ram Nadi. With dedication, they plan activities such as riverbank cleanups and tree plantations. These sustained actions are helping the struggling river and connecting more people to her. Let's watch.
मी वसुंधरा स्वच्छता माध्यमाच्या अंतर्गत रामनदी स्वच्छतामध्ये सहभागी झाले 2009 पासून. 2009 मध्ये या अभियानाची सुरुवात झाली आणि पहिले काही वर्ष अनेक प्रयोग केले, पण खरा त्याला जोम मिळाला किंवा उत्साह मिळाला तो 2016 पासून. 2016 मध्ये एक 100 मीटरचा स्ट्रेच निवडला. तिथे पुष्कळ म्हणजे जवळजवळ 2 ट्रक प्लास्टिक त्या नदीपात्रातनं काढलं. पूर्ण नदीपात्र प्लास्टिकने भरून गेलं होतं. नदीच्या जवळ अगदी दुर्गंधी येत होती. एरंडा आणि टणटणी वाढली होती आणि नदीशी सुसंगत जास्त करून फळाफुलांची तसेच कर्दळ आणि वाळा अशी नदीला माती धरून ठेवणारी अशी झाडांची लागवड केली आणि नियमित पाणी घालण्यासाठी नियमाने जायला लागलो दर आठवड्यातून 2दा.
ही राम नदीमध्ये भुकुमपासून बाणेरपर्यंत ह्या 8 गावांना जर विचार केला आपण तर ह्या 8 गावांसाठी ही गंगाच आहे. कारण नदीच्या कडेला जर गाव असणं हे खूप आनंदाचं आणि भाग्याचं लक्षण आहे. कारण जेव्हा नदी असते तेव्हा भरपूर असं पाणी असतं, ते जमिनीवरती वाहतंही आणि जमिनीमध्ये मुरलं जातं, त्याच्यामुळे झऱ्यांचंही प्रमाण वाढलेलं असतं. हा पाण्याचा विषय म्हणजे त्याच्यामुळे पिण्याच्या पाण्याचे प्रश्न सुटतात बरेचसे. आज जर आमच्या आधीच्या वडिलांच्या वगैरे पिढीचं जर पाहिलं तर ह्याच्या आधी परिस्थिती अशी होती, पुणे महानगरपालिका यायच्या आधी सोमेश्वरवाडीमध्ये ह्या झऱ्यांचंच पाणी पिलं जायचं. ह्या दोन्ही ठिकाणी पाणी एवढं स्वच्छ असायचं, एवढी मजा यायची डुंबायला. सर्व मुलं दिवसभर रविवारची फक्त जेवणासाठी तिकडं, नाही तर शनिवार रविवार आणि उन्हाळ्याच्या दिवसांमध्ये कायम नदीला पोहायला असायची. ह्या नदीला त्या टायमाला 12ही महिने पाणी होतं, पाण्याची कमतरता नव्हती. आज झरे बंद झाल्यामुळं नदीला पाण्याचं प्रमाण अगदी अल्प आहे, म्हणजे 5 ते 10% जिवंत पाणी आहे, नाहीतर बाकीचं सर्व हे जे ड्रेनेज लाईनमधनं पाणी येते. आज आम्ही असा विचार करतो आहे की आपलं काहीतरी चुकलं आहे खरंच, मग त्या चुकीचं काय जर प्रायचित्त घ्यायचं असेल तर आम्ही हा विचार केला की चूक ही मानवाकडनं होतच असते. ठीक आहे, ती चूक सुधारली पाहिजे. मागचे 7 ते 8 वर्षाला काम चालू केलं आहे. आज ह्याच्यामध्ये आम्ही जवळजवळ 17 ते 18 ट्रक प्लॅस्टिक कचरा ह्या 1 किलोमीटर परिसरातून काढला आहे. तो कचरा काढल्यानंतर इथं आम्ही फळझाडांची लागवड केली. फळझाडांची लागवड केल्यानंतर काही देशी झाडं लावली. आज आम्ही जसे बागेत फळझाडं खाल्ली, आज मुलांना फक्त मार्केटमध्ये फळं मिळतात तर ती कुठेतरी उणी भरून काढण्यासाठी आज आपल्या इथं राम नदीवर सोमेश्वरवाडीच्या पाठीमागे तुम्हाला जांभूळ, आंबा, पेरू, आवळा ही फळझाडं, अनेक अशी फळझाडं तुम्हाला मिळतील. त्यानंतर देशी पिंपळ असू द्या, वड असू द्या, औदुंबर असू द्या, ही झाडं तुम्हाला अनेक पाहायला मिळतील. आणि आज ती फळं खायला मुलांना सुरुवात झाली. त्याच्यामुळं फायदा हा झाला की आज ह्या नदीवरती 30 ते 35 मुलं दर शनिवारी इथं पाणी घालण्यासाठी येत असतात. आज आत्तापर्यंत आपण जवळजवळ 1000 झाडांची इथं लागवड केलेली आहे, देशी आणि फळझाडांची. तर आज अनेक लोक ह्याला जॉईन झालेली आहेत. जी आमची चूक होती ती सुधारण्याचं आत्ता कुठेतरी थोडं थोडं पाऊल आमचं पुढं जात आहे आणि आम्ही ह्यात नक्कीच यशस्वी होणार ह्याची आम्हाला खात्री.
India is among the countries with a very high water stress. Reusing treated wastewater can augment water supply. The next film explores the opportunities for wastewater reuse. States like Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra are leading the way, using such water for industrial purposes, showcasing the viability of this approach.
India is a water stressed country. It means that the annual per capita freshwater availability in India has dipped below 1700 cubic meters. We ranked 132nd among all nations with respect to per capita water availability. So what do? There have been various initiatives in the past, but now reusing wastewater generated by cities which has been adequately treated is being seen as a new way of supplementing existing water supply. How can we do that? To understand that, we need to first clear some basics. How is the waste or excreta or fecal sludge in itself managed?
So how do we scale up the reuse of treated wastewater in India? First, reducing the gap between the wastewater that is getting generated and the wastewater that is getting treated. For this, infrastructure development and compliance is the need of the hour. The second important thing is that we need to mainstream the reuse of treated wastewater in smaller cities and ULBs also. And third, very important thing is mandated standard for reuse of treated wastewater. The sectoral reuse standard is the need of the hour that needs to come up so that the plants, the treatment facilities are confident in reusing this treated water instead of following those stringent regulations and norms.
Society must confirm the links between the excreta or sludge it produces, the pollution it causes, and the opportunity it has to reuse and recycle that waste so that it becomes a resource. This is what Waste to Worth is all about. Center for Science and Environment, in collaboration with the National Mission for Clean Ganga, organized a national workshop bringing together experts and representatives from 7 Indian states and various national institutions to discuss the current state of wastewater management in the country. The event highlighted examples from cities that have successfully transformed treated wastewater into a valuable resource, addressing modern urban water needs while reducing climate-induced water stress. Let's talk to some of the people behind the feat of work.
The fact is, the real incentive you have today is the fact that you don't have a choice. Today, with climate change, you will get more water in fewer number of rainy days. You're going to get more floods and then more prolonged droughts, which means your ability to be able to hold that water locally in your lakes and your ponds, in your rainwater harvesting systems, your ability to take every drop of that sewage and turn it back into water is absolutely critical.
Reuse of treated wastewater holds a great potential for the nation. As per the very preliminary estimates, assuming a urban population of 400 million, the quantum of wastewater which is being generated and is available for reuse comes out to be around 20 billion cubic meter. 20 BCM is almost 10 dams. So imagine 10 dams of water every year. How much quantum of water we have available? So this is the potential we have. And secondly, as and when the climate changes are affecting us, the reuse of this water becomes all the more important for us to have a sustainable future.
Tamil Nadu has been a pioneer, especially Chennai itself, Chennai Metro Water itself, in the use of wastewater reuse. They have done these 2 big tertiary treated RO process plants where I was involved in it for close to 5 years in my earlier tenure in TWIC, where we led the team for design verification and project implementation. We did a big study about 5 years back where we broke the whole state into different water grids, called about 56 grids. And this is recycle is closely imbibed, and especially being in a very industrialized state, Tamil Nadu is going for, especially with treated wastewater, for the industrial usage. And shortly, taking cue from CSC reports and other things, they would actually go in for indirect potable reuse as well as for agricultural reuse as well.
This Maharashtra is one of the progressive states, and it's doing great in terms of water reuse. As far as Maharashtra State Power Generation Company Limited, our 130 MLD sewage water treatment plant was commissioned in the year 2008, and then later on 200 MLD project was also commissioned in 2020. Apart from that, we have also commissioned Chandrapur Super Thermal Power Station reuse project of 50 MLD, and again 3 more projects are coming up, one in Bhusawal, another in Paras, and one in Koradi. So these things are going on in reuse of treated water.
So, huge opportunity. And as you can see, I'm very excited by this because I see this as really a huge leadership that we are providing for the entire world, including large parts of Africa, large parts of the world, which are already struggling with cleaning the water, with huge health impacts of it, and today with the greater dangers of climate change.
So water need not be wasted. If urban industrial wastewater is treated for reuse, then water will not be lost. Our rivers and lakes will not be lost. And as Sunita Narayan said, turning every drop of used water into water for use again.
For decades, tannery waste, especially chromium, has polluted the Ganga River, harming both the environment and residents' health. The next film highlights the shift towards cleaner practices in now a leather hub, where some tanneries are adopting chrome-free tanning and water recycling. While progress is evident, the film emphasizes the necessity of broader support for smaller operations to ensure a complete transition to sustainable leather production.
In the lanes of Jajmao in Kanpur, UP's capital, the air is thick with the pungent smell of raw leather. As the thriving heart of India's leather industry, this neighborhood once housed more than 400 tanneries. Shoes, belts and bags for several global brands come out of this suburb. Today, even though that bustling past feels distant, its repercussions are real for its residents. Sunita has lived in Rakhi Mandi for the last 30 years. In this densely populated area, 11 kilometers from Jajmao, homes sit side by side with industrial units. This area has also been the dumping ground for chromium sludge since 1976. Chromium, one of the primary causes for leather industry pollution. If you look at the Ganga flowing through these parts, it has turned black in color. In 2019, 22 of these tanneries here were slapped with a fine of 280 crore rupees by the National Green Tribunal for releasing toxic chromium into the Ganga. The dump has been cleared now, but for residents like Sunita, it might have already been too late.
पानी शुरू से खराब, तब से खराब आता है. वही पानी पहले के बुजुर्गों लोग यूज़ करते थे. अब तो जाते हैं रोड पर से आर का पानी पीने उन्ने के लिए लाते हैं सब खरीद के। पानी रह रहे के साफ आता है, रह के गंदा आता है, हरा हरा रह के, कभी कभी तो लेटरिन बहुत ज़्यादा जैसे बदबू आती है, बहुत पीलापन कभी कभी आता है। आए दिन तो सब बीमारे रहते हैं, हमेशा दवाई चलती रहती है सबको। अरे हमेशा वही जुकाम खांसी बुखार।
अरे अरे बहनी हम ना पीबे बहुत ठंडा है।
जब भी आप बोरिंग कराएंगे यहाँ तो पानी हरा ही निकलता है। जब 400 के ऊपर या 300 के ऊपर पानी जाता है यहाँ पे पाइपलाइन, तब वो पानी सही आता है। बाकी आप 100-200 पे ही कराएंगे तो पानी हरा ही आएगा। यहाँ तक कि 250 पे भी बोरिंग कराई गई है तो पानी हरा ही आया हुआ है। ओपन नालियाँ शिवर ही बह रहा है तो पानी जाहिर सी बात है, जो नालियों से पानी आता है पाइपों में, तो ये तो संभावना है कि कीड़े पड़ने पानी की कोई शुद्धता नहीं है यहाँ पे। गंदे पानी पीते हैं, वही बच्चे पीते हैं, उन्हीं से डायरिया होती है, उन्हीं से बीमारियाँ फैलती हैं।
From acid and detergent factories to paint and tobacco processing plants, Judge Mao is located in a red zone of highly populated industries, the combined effluents from which have exacerbated the general degradation of the region. The tanneries, however, have played a more than significant role here. Kanpur produces 20% of India's leather, with 250 active tanneries operating in Judge Mao alone as of today. Groundwater levels have been contaminated to alarming proportions.
Unfortunately, the growth of this industry around the world has been in and around the river bodies, because this was considered to be one of the largest water consuming industries of all times. So over a period of time, the concept was that dilution is the best means of taking care of your pollution, and discharge it into the river and it will get diluted. But with population increase, what has happened is that the river contamination has ended up contaminating our drinking water systems.
The tanning industry's most harmful legacy is linked to chromium-3, a heavy metal used widely in the tanning process. Contact with these chemicals can cause skin rashes, itching, and in severe cases, skin cancer. Workers in the tanneries, often handling materials with bare hands, are particularly vulnerable. Waseed Ali, who started working in Judge Mao's tanneries at the age of 16, has been exposed to these risks for 15 years.
छिल जाता है हाथ पैर में, ये देखिए, ये छिला हुआ है, ये छिला हुआ है, बहुत जगह काफ़ी जगह छिला जाता है, चोट लग जाती है, कभी कभी गाड़ी से गिर जाते हैं, काम करते करते नहीं ध्यान दे पाया, आदमी गिर गया, सर फट गया, कुछ बहुत सी बातें हो जाती हैं। दोस्त के क्या हुआ था, पूरे शरीर में उसके दाने निकल ही आए थे, पूरे शरीर में उसके दाने थे। दवा कर रहा था सरकारी अस्पताल से, दवा करते करते थोड़ा बहुत सही हुआ, दुबला पतला था, अचानक से फूलने लगा। फूलते फूलते वो सोच रहा था कि मेरी सेहत बन रही है कि काम से, वो खुश होता था कि हम सोच रहे कि हम काम कर रहे हैं, मेहनत कर रहे हैं, सेहत बन रही है। वो काम करता रहा, अभी हाल ही में अचानक से बताया कि उसके अंदर लीवर में कोई दिक्कत आ गई है। तो ये हाईलाइट अस्पताल हैगा, सरकारी अस्पताल है, यहाँ का सबसे बड़ा अस्पताल, उसी में क्या कहते हैं वो ख़त्म हुआ।
In a bid to auction remedial measures, the Uttar Pradesh Pollution Control Board in 2017 directed tanneries to operate at half capacity. Did the directive lead to any substantial impact over the last 7 years? We couldn't be sure because we were unable to find any official data on it. Travelling towards the eastern bank of the Ganga, about an hour away from Judge Mao, we reach Unnao to meet Taj Alam, proprietor of King's International, a 30-year-old tannery.
Well, the life in the tannery starts from the beam house. Beam house is the first place where the raw hide enters from a slaughterhouse. It enters in the form of salted condition. Why salting? Because salt acts as a preservative for the hides. So you can keep it for a week or 10 days in that condition without processing it, still it will survive. So that salt has to be desalted. So maximum salt is eliminated so that the TDS level in the pollutant is decreased.
Breaking down the stages of tannery life, Taj explains how the company has been trying out measures to lower the carbon footprint seemingly imminent within the traditional leather industry. It is a stage-by-stage process, he explains, starting with ensuring effective management of its waste products. The byproducts from hides range from excess flesh to hair particles. While the former gets sold to pharma and cosmetic companies for gelatin production, the hair particles are used in making manure. All the water that is used in soaking and washing these hides is reused after treatment.
So after the liming, then we do the deliming, because that whatever lime has gone into the system for taking out the hair has to be taken out before you further process the hide. And this liming and reliming process, in this process you will see a machine which is made by us with the help of some experts. So this machine known as lime water recycling machine, that recycles and reuses water, limed water, for reliming purposes. So we save about 600 kL of water per annum by doing this.
The most critical step in leather production is tanning, a process that traditionally relies on chromium, hazardous to both workers and the environment. Salim Akmal, recent employee at the tannery, shares some of his learnings on safer alternatives to chemical tanning.
The most important thing we do is we eliminate any metal tanning processes. Like the most common one is chrome tanning, and the sulfates used in chrome tanning are extremely harmful. They are heavy metals. The other one is use of aluminium or other metals. So we completely eliminate that, and our focus is more towards vegetable tanning. Our style, our products are more towards vegetable tanning and metal-free tannings. So we use tanning extracts from trees like cobracho and mimosa, chestnut, cambier. There are different extracts that come directly from the tree. They are treated and by chemical companies. Most of them come from South America. So yeah, overall the quality of leather is enhanced, the effect on environment.
A typical tannery uses about 10 to 18 liters of water for every kilogram of raw skin. This is equivalent to 2 to 3 standard household buckets of water per kg. Kanpur's tanneries, since 2017, are now required to introduce zero liquid discharge systems, recycling up to 80% of their water use. Out of the 50 existing tanneries in Unnao, Taj is one of the 16 tannery owners who have helped in establishing a common effluent treatment plant to address the broader need for water sustainability.
This is our upgraded form of our effluent treatment plant. It's a primary plant, and after the primary treatment, we do the electro-oxidation and electrocoagulation that further reduces the organic load of the pollutants in the effluent, and then it is discharged to common effluent treatment plant, which is about 2 kilometers away from here, through the underground conveyance system. Then the secondary and the tertiary treatments are done there to meet the required mandated parameters of pollution board, and then it is finally discharged into the Loni drain, and Loni drain further takes that water towards the water body.
Kanpur is one of our major clusters.
KJ Sriram has been the director at the Central Leather Research Institute since 2019. Instrumental in helping tanneries adopt cleaner practices, CLRI's mission now, the director tells us, is to ensure a competitive, environmentally friendly industry grounded in research, technology and training.
Yes, I agree that the past has not been good. I say about a decade or two back. But presently, the Central Pollution Control Board, along with the Namami Gange and other programs of the Government of India, have a monitoring system for all the grossly polluting industries which are discharging into the Ganga. And I would say that almost all the tanneries during the evaluation time, they do meet the norms nowadays.
As the governing body in charge of evaluating the performance of tanneries, any non-compliance leads to daily fines and a shutdown after a 15-day window, KJ Sriram points out. While Unnao, with its larger businesses, has managed to introduce cleaner practices, Jajmao, a much older, densely populated cluster dominated by MSMEs, is struggling to keep pace. Geography plays a crucial role too. Unnao's industrial area is located far from urban settlements, while Jajmao's tanneries sit along the banks of the Ganga in the heart of the city. Only recently has a collaborative effort between the state and tannery owners led to the creation of a more advanced common effluent treatment plant in Jajmao. For years, untreated wastewater flowed directly into the Ganga. The new system now diverts it for agricultural use.
इस प्रोजेक्ट का एक सबसे बड़ा यूनिक बात है कि जो क्रोम पहले एफ्लुएंट के साथ मिक्स होकर आता था, अब हम उसको टैनरी में ही सेपरेट करके और उसको टैंकर के थ्रू एक अनदर प्लांट जो इस प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर ही आता है, 900 KLD का, विच इज़ द बिगेस्ट क्रोमियम रिकवरी यूनिट इन इंडिया, उसका स्टेबलाइजेशन भी हो चुका है. तो ये इस प्रोजेक्ट के कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी को टैकल करने के लिए अच्छी चीज़ है इसमें.
The new CETP represents a significant technological leap. The financial burden has slowed progress for many tanneries. With the total cost reaching 520 crores and tannery owners contributing 20%, smaller operations are struggling to invest. Since the state imposed restrictions in 2017, almost half of the tanneries here have shut down anyway, unable to afford the shift. The question now is there a plan to help smaller establishments cross over?
Thanks for watching Eco India. If you like the story, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Scroll.in on YouTube.
Uttar Pradesh is grappling with wastewater woes, but Chunar has offered a beacon of hope. In 2017, a pilot fecal sludge treatment plant was launched, prioritizing education and accessible septic services, including free options for the urban poor. By 2022, Chunar saw a dramatic shift, managing 51% of its fecal sludge and septage, up from zero. This initiative improved hygiene, reduced pollution, and demonstrated the effectiveness of decentralized wastewater management. Chunar's success offers a replicable model for other towns, proving that sustainable solutions can be achieved even with limited resources.
From the gullies of Lucknow to the ghats of Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh is a state with many faces and dimensions. Of the state population, 70% live in rural areas. But in recent years, Indian villages have been quickly transforming into urban spaces. This rapid urbanization has been a major challenge for Uttar Pradesh, especially when it comes to wastewater and septage management. Over the past few decades, the health of River Ganga had been substantially affected by the mixing of sewage and household septic waste via open drains ending into the river. But today, a small town located in the Mirzapur district on the banks of Ganga and Jargo is showing Uttar Pradesh how to efficiently manage its septage waste while also questioning its inclusive wastewater management journey. Only 20% of the urban areas in the state are serviced by sewage systems. And when it comes to informal settlements and rural areas, there were no proper waste management systems in place. Without proper systems, the drains were mixed with septage waste and constantly ended up in large water bodies. Experts link pollution in the Ganga and other rivers to India's high rate of waterborne diseases, which kill an estimated 1.5 million children every year in the country.
उसमें क्या होता है कि मेनली बीओडी जो कि जो घरेलू घरों के डोमेस्टिक का सीवर होता है, उसमें लगभग बीओडी 150 से 150 से 200 होता है. इसी तरह सीओडी चूँकि केमिकल वेस्ट होता है जो कि इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया में होता है. सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात है जो फीकल कोलिफॉर्म लगभग 2 लाख के आसपास वहाँ पाए गए जो कि रिवर बॉडी में मिल रहे थे. उसको कंट्रोल करना बहुत ज़रूरी है.
For a steadily growing town like Chinnar, the concept of collecting and disposing of septage was a new challenge. The non-sewage sanitation model was an ideal situation. In 2017, the state government decided to take a fecal sludge treatment plant pilot project in Chinnar with 10 KLD capacity with the help of National Mission for Clean Ganga.
ये बहुत जगह पे हमारी आबादी एक्सटेंडेड हो रही है और उस विस्तारित क्षेत्र में अगला चरण ये आ रहा है कि कैसे उस जो भी सीवेज उत्पन्न होगा उसको ट्रीट कैसे किया जाए. चुनार भी उसका एक एग्जाम्पल था. भारतवर्ष में पहला था जिसमें एनएमसीजी ने चुनार के लिए फंडिंग की और ये गंगा किनारे का शहर है. योजना के चरण में ये विकल्प सामने आया कि एफएसटीपी के माध्यम से, चूँकि वहाँ पे कुल हम लोग का क्षमता 42,000 लोग ही थे, तो एसटीपी तो उसका विकल्प हो नहीं सकता था. 10 KLD क्षमता के एफएसटीपी का हम लोगों ने वहाँ पे निर्माण कराया.
In 2017, the local government, with the help of Centre for Science and Environment, started reaching out to people and started conducting IEC activities to make sure people are sensitized to the importance of collecting and disposing of septage waste properly. They also provided financial aid for the installation of septic tanks in households. Inclusivity was key to the mission. The local government emphasized on bringing urban poor living in informal settlements under the umbrella of waste management, as they realized that even one single broken chain can disrupt the entire system.
लोगों को जोड़ने के लिए हम लोग मोहल्ले मोहल्ले में जा कर के ये बैनर के माध्यम से, पोस्टर के माध्यम से लोगों को समझाया कि भाई ये मल हमारा यदि नाली में जाएगा, नाली से गंगा जी में जाएगा, गंगा जी में हम जा कर के नहाते धोते हैं, पूजा पाठ करते हैं, तो ये गंदगी होती है. और उसके बाद लोगों को आईसी के माध्यम से लोगों को जोड़ने का प्रयास किया गया और काफ़ी लोग जुड़े.
After 5 years of hard work, the Chinnar fecal sludge treatment plant was commissioned in September 2022. This marked a new era of systematic septage management in the district. Today, people have the option to call the municipality and request for septic tank cleaning at a marginal cost of 500 rupees per household. The local authorities have also decided to undertake the cleaning of tanks in informal settlements free of cost. But the question arises, how has this initiative impacted Chinnar, the people of Chinnar and the river Ganga?
पहले तो इस तरह जो टंकी भर जाती थी तो किसी को मिला के जो स्वीपर होते थे उनसे मिला के जो है वो बाल्टी से इस तरह ठेले से ले आकर फेंकते थे और तमाम गंदगी हो जाती थी और उससे तमाम बीमारियां भी फैल रही थी. और अब क्या हुआ है, जो वहाँ पर टैंक बना हुआ है प्लांट, वो आपके नगर पालिका से टैंक आती है, उनके कर्मचारी आते हैं और उसको कायदे सफाई करते हैं, कोई गंदगी भी नहीं होती है, फिर उसको जाकर प्लांट में डाल देते हैं. पहले से बहुत फ़र्क है.
The fully functioning FSTP is in its early stages in Chinnar, but still it has managed to have positive impact on the town. The health and hygiene of the town has improved drastically. By 2022, 51% of fecal sludge and septage were being safely managed, compared to 0% in 2017.
अभी के लिए प्लांट तैयार है और आगे में हम लोग ये सोच रहे हैं इसके सस्टेनेबिलिटी के लिए और इंक्लूसिवनेस के लिए शेड्यूल डिस्लेजिंग होनी चाहिए, जिसमें हर 3 साल पे प्रत्येक घर का सेप्टिक टैंक खाली होगा और ये साइकिल ऐसे चलती रहेगी। और इकोनॉमिक्स की बात देखें तो इस जो सुविधा है डिस्लेजिंग की सुविधा, सभी सेप्टिक टैंक खाली करने की सुविधा, तो ये हम सभी तबके के लोगों को जो सेम बराबर से एक सुविधा देना चाहते हैं।
For Uttar Pradesh, this is just the beginning. There are 62 FSTP and co-treatment plants under construction in 59 cities. They are also shifting their focus on STPs and co-treatment plants in the state as well. Even though Chinnar is a role model to follow, much work still needs to be done to truly achieve a sustainable and inclusive sanitation in the state.
The final film of the 5th Kirloskar Vasundhara Ram Nadi Festival is a recap of the Ram Nadi Restoration Mission's journey with the river over the past 5 years. Let's watch this capsule of various engagements, activities, and stakeholders, all striving for a better Ram Nadi. Thank you for joining us.